Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's good to have you all here, and I hope you are all doing well. For anyone new to the channel, first of all, welcome. I'm Cal, and I'm here to educate you all on your basic legal rights. And today I'm talking about disrepair in your property and your landlord refusing to do anything about it. Easy solution, let's get into it. Firstly, let me tell you, your situation is not uncommon, guys. A recent Citizens Advice survey tells us that 38% of private renters like you have experienced delays or outright refusals by their landlord to carry out essential repairs. The charity Shelter, which you've probably heard of, says that 1 in 5 renters live with mold or damp or unsafe conditions that affect their health. So let me say this loud and clear for all of you. That is not okay, and it's not legal. And despite what you're being told by your landlord, you do not have to put up with it. As a lawyer who's dealt with property litigation, not just as a lawyer, but as a multiple landlord, I'm telling you, your solution is often not that complex. So in this very short video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what to do when your landlord refuses to make repairs or unreasonably delays them. We'll talk about what your landlord is legally responsible for, what your rights are as a tenant, a clear step-by-step process to challenge a landlord who won't act, also what remedies are available to you, and finally and importantly, the risks of the process. Do not skip those. Also, I'm going to do my best to predict some of the likely defenses that your landlord might try to argue and how to absolutely destroy them. And as always, the best bit, I'm going to do it all in just the next 9 minutes. So listen closely and let's get straight into it. So some of the most common repair issues tenants face are things like damp, mold. This affects so many people and can be a hazard not only to your stuff but to your health. Broken heating systems and boilers, very common. Leaky roofs, plumbing issues or electrical problems with appliances, poor lighting in parts of the home, and even pest infestations. These are not just minor annoyances. They make your home unsafe and unreasonable to live in, guys, and as such are illegal, both under UK law and under your lease or tenancy agreement. You have the right to demand action, but not all instances of disrepair fall under this category, and you need to know which is which. We're going to look at that very quickly now. All right, so what repairs is your landlord legally responsible for then? In England and Wales, your landlord's legal responsibilities are set out mainly in 2 laws. The Landlord and Tenant Act, section 11. This says landlords must keep the structure and exterior of your home in repair. And number 2, the Homes Fitness for Human Habitation Act. This law says that your home must be safe, healthy, and suitable to live in. That means no dangerous damp, mold, pests, broken heating, poor ventilation, or unsafe electrics. These laws apply even if your tenancy agreement doesn't mention them, okay? So don't worry if your tenancy agreement doesn't mention them. They exist by law to protect all tenants. They're also binding on housing associations like the council, if any of you are watching are tenants of the council. Of course, then there's also your tenancy agreements, isn't there? This is the large document that you would have signed and received at the beginning of your tenancy. It contains in it, if you look, the clauses that dictate what your landlord is responsible for, such as maintaining the property, carrying out repairs. These are called landlord covenants. Check the maintenance and repair clauses in your lease or tenancy agreement document. Look for terms like landlord's responsibilities or repairs or maintenance. It's all in there, and it should clearly state that the landlord is responsible for maintaining the property in a habitable condition. If they don't do those things, that could constitute a breach of your tenancy agreement, a breach of contract. Okay, so now you know the law. That's the boring bit out of the way. Now let's look at the best step-by-step procedure to challenge them. Okay, let's say that you've told your landlord there's a problem and they're ignoring you. What now? Well, the first step is to report the problem in writing. This must always be your first step. Always report repair problems in writing. Email is best. If you only just call or text, it is harder to prove later. Now explain what the issue is, when it started, how it's affecting your health or day-to-day life, what you want them to do and when, and also attach photos and videos or whatever proof that you can. If the property has cold or damp or broken appliances or leaks, then show them that with whatever proof that you've got. All this begins your evidence trail. This is extremely important, guys. You need to gather and document and organize all of your possible evidence, which leads us to step 2, which is keeping a paper trail. This is so important if things escalate. Save every message with your landlord, every photo, every screenshot, every letter. Keep a log of when you reported the problem and what the response was every time, and whether anything actually got worse. If your landlord replies verbally, email a summary of the conversation, of that verbal conversation, back to them, so you've got a paper trail. That is crucial, guys. Don't let them deny that you contacted them. Step 3 then is to give them a reasonable deadline. Now you must do this too. Legally, landlords must act within a reasonable time. That's the law. But what is reasonable depends on the issue. For example, if you have broken heating in the winter, then I recommend a 24 or 48 hour deadline. A broken oven, maybe a week. If it's mold or leaks, then maybe 14 days could be reasonable. If they miss those deadlines, follow up again in writing. Be firm, but be polite. And finally, remind them, make sure to write this point. Remind them that under the Landlord and Tenant Act and your tenancy agreement that they have a legal duty to carry out those repairs within a reasonable time. It will show that you are serious and it will show that you are knowledgeable of your rights. Step 4 is to contact your council's environmental health team. So if the landlord still doesn't act, this is important. Contact the environmental health department of your local council. They have legal powers to inspect your home and take enforcement action afterwards. They can serve what's called a hazard awareness notice or an improvement notice if there are serious health and safety risks. And I'll explain why that is so important in a second. So if the landlord still refuses, they can be fined or even prosecuted, okay? So contact your local council for that department's number. And here's one bonus. Once the council serves one of these notices that I've told you about, your landlord is unable to evict you with a Section 21 notice for 6 months. So in case any of you are worried that your landlord is going to retaliate to your complaints and try and evict you, they won't be able to do that. They will not be able to threaten you with eviction notice thanks to the Deregulation Act 2015, and it's designed to stop exactly that, revenge evictions. Now if the council can't help you or the issue is really serious, then you can and should take your landlord to court, which is step 5. So if you don't want to wait for the council, or if the issue is really urgent, you can take your landlord to court yourself under those 2 acts I mentioned, the Homes Fitness Human Habitation Act and the Landlord and Tenant Act. Or you can even sue them for breach of your tenancy agreement, breach of contract, and claim damages. Now you don't need a solicitor if it's a small or simple claim, okay? You can apply through the small claims process for claims under £10,000, and I highly recommend this if your claim is under £10,000, as it's really quick and cheap and easy. Alternatively, if it's more complex, you can file in civil court for more serious claims. More complex breaches of lease claims may need to be heard in civil court. You might not get away with it in the small claims court, and you should get legal representation for this. Now, the important section, guys, one you've been waiting for: what can you get from the court if you win? So, what can the court give you once you win? What will you get? Well, you can ask the court to order the landlord to carry out those repairs, award you compensation for any inconvenience, stress, or any health impact. For example, if you're without hot water for months or had to sleep in a mouldy room. Or, number 3, they can refund part of your rent if the property was uninhabitable for that time. For example, if the disrepair made part of your home unusable. Again, all your records and your photos and all the evidence I told you about will help you here. Keep all your evidence organised. Now, very quickly then, as promised, what about if you are renting from the council or for a housing association? Now, for anyone who's not, I don't want to waste your time, please feel free to skip this very short section. But if you rent from a local authority or from a housing association or a council, you can still follow all the same steps, but you have an added option. You have the added option of using the Housing Ombudsman. And here's how that works very quickly. First, complain to your landlord using the official complaints process that I've mentioned. If they ignore it or don't resolve things within 8 weeks, then you can escalate to the Housing Ombudsman. Again, I've attached a link to this service in the description below, so check that out. Now, the Ombudsman can then order them. It has the powers to order them to carry out those repairs or pay compensation or even just apologise. Yes, they have those powers, even against local councils or housing associations. This is a free service, guys, and much, much faster than going to court, believe me. So to recap, if your landlord's ignoring you, do not just put up with it. That's the most important thing I'm trying to say here. Report it in writing, document everything, escalate to the council's environmental health department, as I said, or if you really need to, if it's serious, then take them to court. If it's a small claim, which it probably is, you can do this yourself and it is not expensive and it's really simple. Don't just give up on it. The law is on your side. Now, guys, I really want to hear from you on this topic. I want to know your stories and your experiences of disrepair and of your landlord's behavior during this. Have you tried this process of claiming? How did it go? And did anything go wrong? Do you have any tips for anyone else watching? Let's get a discussion going in the comments so we can can all start to help each other. And if you have liked, learnt, or taken anything of value from this video, guys, maybe consider subscribing. And remember, this content is educational only. It is not a substitute for personalised legal advice. That said, I'll see you in the next video.